around three things to say about this report. You see, actually the Constitution contemplates that the allocations that we give to county governments should not be less than 15% of the nationally collected revenue. My colleagues, if you look at that provision of the Constitution critically, you realize that there is no minimum to the national government. There is no minimum allocation to the national government, which actually, by extension, it means we could reach a point where we allocate a lot more money to counties from the nationally collected revenue than that we allocate to the national government, because there is no minimum to the national government. Madam Speaker, the second thing that I want to add on this motion is a situation where the national government gives, or the national treasury gives with the right hand but takes away from the county governments with the left hand. Why do I say this? Madam Speaker, through the back door, the national government is increasingly budgeting for county governments. And I'll give two examples. I'll give the example of KIPES, where a determination is made at the national government that every county government will have a KIPE. The national government will put in 250 million Kenya shillings, and the county government will put in 250 million Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, that is a decision made at the national level. And the county governments have no say. They just have to comply. So, the Committee on Finance and Budget, I've just done very simple calculation. Yes, we have gotten 13 billion Kenya shillings more. But look at it this way. Out of the 47 county governments, each county government is supposed to give 250 million Kenya shillings for its own KIPE. If you multiply 250 million Kenya shillings by 47, you get 11.75 billion Kenya shillings. So yes, we have sent 13 billion additional to county governments, but the national government has decided that 11.7 billion Kenya shillings of this money that we are giving you is going to KIPES. And there's nothing the county governments can do about that. What about a reversal of that situation? Where then if the national government has decided that they are going to co-fund these projects, why can't they calculate the amount of the co-funding from the national government and release it in one lump sum to county governments as additional allocation to county governments in the budget? So that it's not a situation where we give county governments money, but we dictate to them how they are going to spend that money. The same thing, Madam Speaker, applies to the CHPs. You know, a determination has been made that nationally we are going to have 107,831 CHPs across the country. The national government will give 2,500 shillings. The county governments will give another 2,500 shillings to the CHPs. A simple calculation tells you that the county governments in totality will have to spend around 270 million Kenya shillings every month to take care of the CHPs. Why can the national government send the money for CHPs in the budget as part of the equitable share as additional allocation to county governments? Madam Speaker, if we are not careful, what will happen is that we will be told that there has been additional monies sent to counties, but those monies, Madam Speaker, are budgeted by the national government. Because these expenditures are non-discretionary. It's not like the discretion of a county to spend or not to spend. It is not discretionary. Madam Speaker, I am happy that Senator Veronica has noted that any shortfall in the revenues collected nationally within the budget cycle, that shortfall must be borne by the national government. But Mr. Speaker, there should be no argument that after we have agreed on this amount that we have sent to county governments, there should be no argument at any one given time within this financial year that somebody is going to touch the allocations to county governments. If there is a shortfall in collections for whatever reason, the national government should bear that shortfall. Additionally, it cuts both ways. If by whatever miracle, then the national government, the treasury is able to collect a lot more than has been projected, the county government will not go and say we want a share of what more you have collected. The national government can use that to service national debt. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, let me address myself to the leaderships of the county governments. Madam Speaker, we are here debating additional funds to county governments. And Madam Speaker, we have just come from a very ugly and unpleasant situation with county governors, where a section just decided that they would not want to be held accountable for the resources that are allocated to them. But as Speaker, it should be noted by the county governors that accountability for national resources, for resources allocated to county governments, including resources from own source revenue. Accountability for those resources, Madam Speaker, is not a favor to the Senate, is not a favor to the people in the counties. It is a constitutional obligation. At the time that the Senate and the representatives of the Senate spent pushing for the additional monies to counties, it should not be taken for granted. It is the same thing, Madam Speaker, that happened to the county governments of 12 counties, including Nandi and Samburu and I think Taita Taveta. And I think Laikipia was also there. But as Speaker, we sat here and, out of our clean hearts and our love for devolution, we invoked the provisions of Article 203 of the Constitution on affirmative action and said other counties were ready to lose some little money so that we can get a little more to the 12 counties. And we agreed, Madam Speaker, that when we give those additional monies to those counties, what was going to happen is that we were going to ring-fence those monies and spend them on critical projects. Madam Speaker, immediately the governors received that money. They completely disappeared and forgot that there was a deal on how that money was supposed to be used. And now they are running away from accountability on how that money has been spent. Madam Speaker, let county governors be accountable for the resources that we send to them